What up, though? And welcome to Lunchtime Detroit Lions Talk, brought to you by Detroit Lions on the Prowl and Lions Nation Unite. It's your boy, Curt Steele. Today is Wednesday, March 23rd, 2022. It's Hump Day, baby. On deck for the show, we give you the latest and greatest Detroit Lions news and rumors. The Lions signed former first-round cornerback Mike Hughes and had another addition, veteran linebacker who is young, Chris Board, coming over from the Ravens. And finally, we take a look at a recent interview by Lions principal owner and chair, Sheila Hemp. But before we get to all that jazz, man, I got to bring in the rest of the crew. First up, y'all know him, man. Y'all see him over there. He is our resident Rick Ross. He's rocking that MCDC sweatshirt because he loved biting kneecaps, as other things, ladies. It's my man, LL Cool Tones. What's up, my dude?
Ladies, I'm never going to bite your kneecap unless you ask.
All right, and also, y'all see him over there, man. He's got the stud defensive tackle in his house, but it's his daughter, man. She's a baller, man. It's my man. Who?
Coach Jones. Who is Coach Mike Jones? What's going on, Lion fans?
Hey, let's get this thing started
right now.
Let go.
It's Detroit Lions talk, baby.
We're going to get up, and on the way up, we're going to bite a kneecap off.
Yes, sir. We in the deep. Hey, welcome back to the show, people. Y'all know who he is. I've said it before. He's the ladies' pet, the men's regret. You ain't seen nothing yet. The player from the Himalayas. My man, LL Cool Tones, to talk about a new signing. What you got, my man?
Well, yesterday came on down the line that the Lions signed a couple of people. One of them being cornerback Mike Hughes. He's last tenured with the Kansas City Chiefs. He is a former first-round pick of the Minnesota Vikings. He's only 25 years old. And just to read a little bit from an article from Proud of Detroit, it says Hughes starts his NFL career was a rocky one. Despite being selected in the first round, pick number 30 in the 2018 draft by the Minnesota Vikings, 6 games in his rookie year, Hughes tore his ACL, ending his season prematurely. With depth at the position, Hughes started off his sophomore season on the bench, contributing to 14 games with 3 starts. After a roster purge in the secondary, the Vikings promoted Hughes to the starting lineup in year 3, but once again landed himself on injury reserve, this time after 4 games. After 2 seasons that ended with Hughes on injury reserve, the Vikings elected not to pick up his 5th-year option and traded him, plus a 7th-round pick to the Kansas City Chiefs for a 6th-round pick that looked like a salary dump with the salary cap strapped Minnesota Vikings. Hughes, 5'10", 190 pounds, has shown the potential to play inside, outside, and he showed a lot of promise on the outside of the Chiefs press man scheme in 2021. He started 5 games for the Chiefs, recorded 47 tackles, 6 pass breakups, and an interception. He earned an overall grade of 72.9 from PFF. So, all of that being said, I like the signing. I think it's just going to be a depth piece, a rotational cornerback, and a guy that can, like a spot starter or just once again, just a rotational piece. We have some injuries in the secondary, so he should be able to fill in those spots and give us some good time on the field. What do you guys think about the Mike Hughes signing?
I like the Mike Hughes signing. I think he may have a bigger role if you look at it. We have a lot of injuries, like you said. The dude played 45% of the defensive snaps for the Chiefs last year. Not only did he have all that jazz, which you talked about earlier, he had an interception, 6 pass defenses, and 4 forced fumbles. So, maybe looking at a Peanut Tillman Jr., knocking that ball out. And he did return one of those fumbles for a touchdown. Kind of reminds me of what Jerry Jacobs, and he kind of that, he's not a big guy, smaller, with like 5'10", maybe a $190 wet, but he's feisty. He's still young, and he could definitely be one of those guys with the tutelage of Aubrey Pleasant. He can revitalize his career in Detroit. What you got, my man? Mike.
I think something that stood out to me is he is rated 14th best corner in the NFL, playing inside and outside. Guys who got both, because some corners only play outside, some only play inside, but a guy who plays dual inside outside, he was the 14th best corner in the NFL. Doing that speaks volumes, and that the fact that you said, Curt, he's on the field for, I don't know Curt or LL, but he's on the field for 45% of the Kansas City Chiefs snaps. So that means he had vital, important role at that position. So I'm just glad that we're bringing in more depth, more young depth. Unlike Bob Quinn, who got the dinosaurs, who was long in the tooth.
Bob Quinn couldn't. I don't know, man. That dude.
I honestly feel like that's one of the names that should not be mentioned around here that often. But
around these parts.
Right. But if you guys like this content, please like this content, share this content, send it to other Detroit Lions fans just like yourself, because you guys already know we are on that march to 4K, baby. So help us get along that way. Please like and subscribe. Tell everybody about us. Leave us some comments. You may see it on the next show. But tell us about that family discussion topic, Curt.
All right, so family discussion topic for today is, how do you like the Mike Hughes signing? Do you think he'll be a starter? Do you think he'll be a rotational piece? I know he plays special teams. Give us your thoughts, whatever it is, about Mike Hughes coming to the Detroit Lions. Leave it in the comments on the video. Like my man LL said, we picked 6 of them things to read on the next show. And you just might be there because, the comment cards are coming up later in the show. All right. So, Coach Mike Jones, he asked he was begging. He was like, please sign me a linebacker. Give me a linebacker, please.
No, I didn't. I said, draft a linebacker.
Right after he was saying, man,
I would say,
I love JG.
The draft.
Linebackers and JG is our way to the future, baby.
Danny Trevathan, there are a whole bunch of linebackers out here. We ain't getting nobody. But we signed a linebacker. Coach Jones talked to me about Chris Board.
So Chris Board, he's not that bad of a player. Chris Board was an undrafted player out of North Dakota State. He is 26 years old. He's played 4 seasons for the Ravens. Chris Board is more of a special teams player, although he's earning his snaps on the field. But Chris Board is a guy who I think will compete with Rashad Berry and Bolton to see who's going to replace Germ or Jalen Reeves-Maybin on the special teams and be that special team ace. When he's coming from a team like the Ravens, who have very good coaching, that gives him a leg above everybody, really. When you got, guys coming in who are from here or from there, and you get a guy who's coached by the Ravens staff and who etched out some time on the field, not very much, but he was working his way on the field. You got to get that guy a heads up. And so I'm happy with it. I think there will be at the end of the day, there will be a decision made before the season started. Will it be him? Will it be Berry? Will it be Bolton? I don't think all 3 of them will make the roster. Maybe 2 of them, or maybe 1. I think some guys will get practice squad, some guys will get released. But I think that Board is a very good signing, man. What do you guys think?
I like the Board signing because he's versatile. He can be a special teamer, but it fits what Brad Holmes and the company are doing with these players. It's still another prove it type of guy. You come to Detroit, revitalize his career, and he's a depth piece where you can, put him in different positions on the field. And with the scheme change, you can see if he can be a coverage linebacker. Could he be a Mike linebacker? We don't know if he's Mike, Will, or Sam, in a 4-3, but he's one of those guys that fits as far as the attitude. Like, okay, I can come here, get my, my shine on. And I like the special teams aspect of it, because that's one thing that we really miss losing Jalen Reeves-Maybin is his special teams performance, because he was our special teams ace out there. That dude had more special team tackles than a lot of people on a lot of teams, maybe even combined with some teams, because he was always around the ball on special teams. But you know, like I said, be careful what you ask for, because you just might get it. And Curt Mike said,
draft.
"Give me a linebacker.
Draft.
Give me a linebacker."
Draft.
Here's the thing, Coach Mike. I honestly think your wish will be received well pretty soon, because we haven't signed a starting linebacker like you pointed out the other day. We keep signing these depth pieces and rotational players, and I like the signing. I want to say that I think he'll contribute. He may be able to step in, and I also want to say this, man. I really hated to see Jalen Reeves-Maybin leave. I thought he played well here, and I was actually looking for him to stick around a little bit. I thought he earned the spot, but sad to see you go. But welcome, Chris Board. I think he'll be able to fit in, at least some of what his duties were, especially on special teams. But Coach Mike, I honestly think we're not really signing anybody to fill in that starting middle linebacker role, or we're not signing any starting linebackers, period. So I think we're going to may end up drafting one or two.
Yeah. Okay. You heard that, Nakobe Dean. So one thing that I did notice is I know he's 6'2". I've checked many website references. Some got him at 237, some got him at 229. So I'll say he's 233, kind of split it down the middle. But that, that's a kind of a big jump in weight from 229 to 237. So but I don't know whether he'll be an inside or outside guy. They said he had pretty good coverage and tangibles.
Mm-hmm.
So he might be that guy. But if you like this content, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that share button. Help us get this content out to more Lion fans like yourself. You can also go over to fanatics.com, get yourself some Lions gear, some discounted Lions gear, that cheap Lions gear. That's that discount line. That's that Goodwill Lions gear. And also you can go over to Lions Nation Unite. That's the app where everybody on that app. I'm talking about everybody. So you go on over to that, man. And Curt, what you got next on the tab?
Okay, man. So what we had happen a few days ago has rarely happened. I know she said she was going to do it, but she hasn't done it in a while. So let's check this thing out. A few days ago, DetroitLions.com reporter Danny Rogers sat down with Sheila Hemp. You notice that she's just going by Sheila Hemp, not Sheila for Hemp. For a quick interview, a few things stood out to me during their conversation. Hamp is dialed in to what the team is doing, what's going on in the organization. As far as free agency is concerned, she said she knows that it was tempting to go out and sign big names, but that's not the plan. Holmes, the company, wants to build the team through the draft, and that is a slower process. But the vision for the Lions is to be a consistent winner on a long-term basis. Sheila is involved with the team. However, she will not meddle and let Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell do their jobs. This is a different approach for the Ford family ownership. Traditionally, the family has made questionable hires and were hands off and let some of those personnel run the Detroit Lions into the ground. But I like the way that she says she wants to be involved, but she doesn't want to meddle. She wants to be dialed in. And one thing I did notice in the interview, if you look over at Detroit Lions on DetroitLions.com at the interview, she has the Detroit Lions free agency notebook sitting on her desk. So she's dialed in to what's going on. But she's like, you guys do your job. I want to be, involved, but do your job. I don't want to meddle. And you see that so many times in the league where you get people that just get the meddling. We all know Jerry Jones out there making himself the GM.
Jerry.
And he's signed good pieces here and there. But if you look at that organization, they haven't won in 30 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, they haven't been a consistent winner for 30 years. They've been in contention or won their division championship, but they haven't competed for a Super Bowl for championships for years. And I think that they may be able to do that if Jerry Jones stepped back, and actually hired a GM. You know what I'm saying? So, and I like the fact that she's letting these people do their jobs. She brought a lot of people in. You look at the organization, how the Lions are organized now with you got Chris Spielman and, all those individuals in there, and how it's, you still got Dorsey, but you have a GM with Brad Holmes, and you look at some of the, how the coaching staff is set up, and she sung the praises of Dan Campbell, like, he has an amazing staff, and they all love to teach the game of football, because not about just coaching, they like to teach the game of football as well. So Sheila Hemp, because she says she's going by Sheila Hemp now. She's just kind of taking the forward out of the ownership of the Lions.
Yeah. You know what? I'm just happy with Sheila, man. If anybody says that they still talking about we need to sell the team, then they just going off of narratives and they not paying attention to what is going on. Because Sheila is shedding all of that, and she's doing her just due, and I'm just happy that we have an involved owner who's in tune with what's going on with the franchise. Like I said, you seen her in the first round in the first draft pick of the Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell era. She was right in the mix. When have you ever seen Martha or Willie Clay in there? You ain't never seen that, so I like it, man. What you got, LL?
No, I like it. And it just goes along with what I've been saying to people, man, because everybody just, the Lions need to sell the team. That's the outcry right now. Lions need to sell the team. Go at the forwards, force the forwards to do it. And I'm like, man, it's almost like we don't even have a forward in there anymore. They don't have the same mindset. But now we really don't even have a forward in there no more. Shout out to Miss Sheila, however she wants to be, referred to as far as last name wise. But I haven't seen a lot of these things from this franchise in my lifetime.
Right.
I ain't that old, you know what I'm saying? I'm old, but I ain't, I've been around for a hot little second, paying attention to football for a minute, but I ain't never seen, I've never felt this way about this team. I've never seen some of the things that we've got going on. So just shout out to her, and y'all need to shut up with all that sell the team stuff, man, because we got a whole new owner in so many senses.
Yeah, and she ain't no punk either. Sheila, like I said before, she'll roll up on you and let you smell her perfume in a heartbeat. So, looking at that as well, the football people handle the football stuff, and the business people handle the business stuff. You haven't heard from Rod Wood in a long time because he's over there handling the business stuff. Remember, Rod Wood was so involved in the business, in the football side. I'm like, what are you doing? You're not a football guy. Now he's over there. He's handling the concession stands, what we charge him for the hot dogs and the beers, what he needs to do over there, all the upgrades to Ford Field. And the football people are doing the football thing. And that's a big part of how Sheila Hemp is sticking to the plan and sticking to how she wants to run the organization. Big shout out to little Sheila, you know what I'm saying? She bought this towel, but big shout out to her because she's a boss, you know what I'm saying? And I said before, if she wasn't a boss, she wouldn't have been put on the committee for USA Football. She wouldn't be put on that board of directors for that. So shout out to Sheila Hemp. I keep saying it. Sheila Hemp for doing her thing over there. Man, if you want to go ahead and get yourself some Prowl Nation gear, like LL is rocking that MCDC sweatshirt, go over to lionsontheprowl.shop.com. Get yourself some Prowl Nation gear, man. What you gonna do, man? And if you want to just follow the crew from behind the scenes, stuff, go ahead and check us out. Follow us on your favorite social media platforms: Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. You just see how we live and how we get down. So go ahead and check us out on your favorite social media platform. Now it is time for Curt Steele's favorite segment of the show. Man, it's time for us to do what? Zip our lip and talk about what you had to say on the previous show. It's time for the comment cards, baby. First up, we got John Reese said the only coach in recent memory who had the culture changing was Jim Caldwell. So egregious that they fired him. When you compare Caldwell's tenure to everything that came after. Yeah, that was a rough go after they fired Jim Caldwell. Yeah. He kind of had that, treated guys like men, you may not like Jim Caldwell. I think he was taking the organization in the right direction. And think about if we'd have went from Jim Caldwell to Dan Campbell. Ooh, that would have been a whole different transition right there.
Yeah. It would have been. Thanks for that comment, John Reese. Uncle Doug says, I would sell the farm to see Hutchinson Thibodeau and Davis on our defensive line. Do whatever it takes. Trade Goff, trade all our picks, whatever it takes. We don't need a stinking QB next year. Just hand the ball off 4 times in a row in a cloud of dust and watch our defense light shit up.
Okay.
I picked that quote. I picked that comment just for you.
and I'm about to give you what you was looking for. I was teetering until you said trade Goff. And hey, you know what? I like the comment, the Uncle Doug. Let's start there and then figure everything else out. Trade Jared Goff.
You know what? All I gotta say is the Titans.
You want to draft Malik Willis anyway? That's gonna help.
All I gotta say is the Tennessee Titans was the number 1 seed in the AFC with Ryan Tannehill. So
and what happened?
So rocking a Michigan jacket. That's my man out there at Delta Dental, man. My man Chris. He the only Wolverine fan out there, man. Besides myself. He said, I'm liking the look of the Lions culture and what the future holds. Shout out to Coach Mike Jones. You know, I let him hear all about the win over Tennessee. Go Blue, great show, fellas. And he talking about Delta Dental, man, because this is an Okemos. So, you know, that's Spartan Nation and me, him, and another guy named Nick. We are the only 3 Lions fans in the whole entire building. And it's about 200 people in that building. So, you know, we just, yeah. So thanks, man. Shout out to Chris.
Okay. All right. Scotty Smith says, we can barely hear Curt, so I've tried to fix that today. Let me know if I'm too loud, people. All right. Lions must get immediate help in the edge, linebacker, and safety, and they all must be starters. I think that's what the plan is going into the draft. I think it's going to be a heavy defensive draft, and I think one or more starter ready wide receiver, cornerback / safety, and we're all set. P.S. Go Blue. You know, we go blue all day here at the Detroit Lions on the Prowl. I think that's the plan. I think what we're seeing, especially in free agency, is that the talent that we want to cultivate here in Detroit is going to be the young talent. You know, it's going to be the younger guys. The veterans are going to be those guys who can fill in, you know, spot starters, but they're going to be rotational pieces. And the young guys are going to be up front, and they want to make those guys starters. You look at last year, all the starters that we had on our team that were drafted last year or signed undrafted free agents that started for the Lions due to injury, or some of them just were starters from day one. I think that's the plan. Get younger, get faster, and get more talent in the draft instead of free agency.
Steve Garwood says, number 2 Detroit Lions linebacker Devin Lloyd, or number 2 Detroit Lions wide receiver Drake London. I disagree, but thank you for the comment, Steve.
Yeah, we're not drafting Drake London number 2.
I mean, I see where you're trying to go. Maybe if we trade back, you know, then we get Drake London, man. But hey, I feel you, man. I feel you. Tony Blumenshine. Is that how you say it? Blumenshine. Okay, Tony Blumenshine. I hope that's your real name. I like what's happening in Detroit culture change. Used to be how, or I like what's happening in Detroit culture change. Used to be how we would find a way to lose a game or run and shoot yourself in the foot offense. That was our culture. Now we're going to change it all up, go Lions. And I believe so. I think they got more of a common sense approach to the offense instead of I'm about to paint this pretty picture and no, we don't have the pieces to even complete that picture. So yeah, man, shout out to Tony Blumenshine.
Yeah, shout out to Tony Blumenshine and everybody else that left us some comments. Shout out to those who left comments that maybe didn't make it to the show, but of course, leave us those comments. We'll pick 6 of them to go on to the next show, so it could be you. So sliding on from Curt's favorite segment to all of our favorite segment, and that is the dessert with your man Curt. What do you have for us today, Curt?
Hey, Dessert with your man Curt is brought to you by Delightful Bites, custom cookies and desserts for any occasion. If you love how they look, you'll love how they taste. Go over to the description and the link at our Facebook page, or if you don't do the Facebook thing, you can email her directly at delightfulbites18@gmail.com. Delightful Bites, get your cookie on. All right, so I know this is just special for me because this is where I would go, but I know Coach Jones ain't gonna like this, but Mel Kiper Jr., who the hell is Mel Kiper anyway, has joined Todd McShay and a lot more mock draft enthusiasts or experts, they're mocking Kyle Hamilton to the Lions at the number 2 pick. This is starting to catch fire a little bit, where he is the best player available on the board. If you look, and that's a position of need for the Lions, but it's taking them a while to kind of come around. Right now, Aiden Hutchinson is number 1 to Jacksonville, and Kyle Hamilton is number 2 to Detroit, a generational talent at his position. He can play any position in the secondary. Everybody's, don't take a safety that, but go and look at his tape and tell me what you think. The guy can play slot. The guy can play outside. The guy can play box safety. The guy can play free safety. He is a one-stop shop for your secondary. 6'4", 220 pounds, and he can run. People tell me, he does it. He's going to be faster than that 4.59. But even though 4.5 is where he should be at for his height and his size, a 4.5 for a safety is not bad. So go ahead and check him out.
Excellent.
I know people are going to be talking about, is this big upgrade? We took Jeff Okudah. Jeff Okudah wasn't looked at as a generational player when he came out. He may have been looked at maybe one of the better cornerbacks in the draft, but I think we know we all picked him way too high. He wasn't the pick for us that year. But if you look at the guy that we wanted to pick, Isaiah Simmons, Coach Mike, Kyle Hamilton is that, comparable, even with a longer, rangier player in the secondary. He has more coverage skills than Isaiah Simmons. You know what I'm saying? So,
and that's fast.
Looking at, I got to bring my facts to the table. I ain't gonna tell you, nothing wrong. I'm gonna bring my facts to the table. I'm gonna talk about it. But look at that being said, Mel Kiper Jr., and like I said, who the hell is this Mel Kiper Jr. anyway? One of the best lines at
That's one of my favorite
ever.
quotes. One of my favorite quotes of all time.
But he has mocked him to the Lions with his latest mock draft. And we know we got to give a shout out to our Wolverine basketball teams, or all the Wolverine sports right now, doing big things over there at the University of Michigan. We're in the Sweet 16 for the men's and women's college basketball. And we're the number 1 seed in the hockey tournament for the NCAA and the gymnastics. And we had a guy, we played 2nd overall for the national championship, but we had one dude in wrestling, but we had one wrestler win a solo national title for the team over the past weekend. So the University of Michigan sports are doing big things over there, man. So, we go Blue Nation over here at Detroit Lions of the Prowl. So shout out to those individuals, those teams, those coaches, and all of that jazz. And one more big shout out to Juwan Howard. Everybody talked about Juwan Howard and how he smacked the dude in the head, the coach. But the thing that went viral recently was him consoling the point guard from Tennessee. This young man grew up with his son, played AAU with him, and he consoled him like a father figure, like a coach. And that's the type of thing that, when in diversity or in winning, he could have been a solo winner. He could have just let that kid just go on by the business, could have walked right past him, but he knew him, he consoled him,
could have slapped him,
showed him that love. He ain't gonna slap him, man. But
I know.
And that thing going viral to me is the real Juwan Howard. If you're a Michigan fan and you watched Juwan Howard over the years, even when he was in the league or when he was at the Fab Five, he was always that, cooler type of head, type of cat. And he loves the game of basketball. And this shows a true Juwan Howard, not the one that made the mistake in a heated moment. So what do you guys think about that?
Shout out to Juwan Howard, man. Go Blue. And Coach Mike, why the Dr. Evil?
That's because, man, I've just been surrounded by Spartan fans for the last since the first week in November. I'm surrounded by nothing but Spartans 5 days a week, man. And
but you live in that area. You live in Spartan Central, so
no. I live right in the middle. Jackson is right in the middle between Lansing and Ann Arbor.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But I worked in Okemos, which is like 2 miles outside of Lansing, East Lansing. I was surrounded by them, and it just makes me, I'm just,
Get a little loose on them. All right. Now it's time for us to go ahead and take a walk on over to that Wall of Fame, baby. First up, we got our bronze members. We got my man Detroit Drew in the building. The Latino Leos over there. Bo Gagrius, Justin, my favorite, Cerveza Ting, Kate, Shayna the Insano, and he is the king of everything because he's the everything king. Over in our silver members, we got Henry Wallace, Shannon Peck, John Martin, Jason Portis, No Miss J, and my man Cap Ice Cold hanging out in the silver members group. Now, here are gold members. Don't forget, your gold members meeting is today at 3 p.m., so don't miss out. We have a lot of fun over there. We got Mr. Reliable Michael Huck is in the building. Larry McQuiston. We got the inspirational Turner C. Burley, Randall Flag 606, Dominic Davis, North End Ken, Nicole Leonore of Douchebagia. They kill me all the time. And the Dr. Detroit. He is always in. To become a member of the Wall of Fame, click that join now button down in the description. Now it's time for final thoughts for today's show. My man LL Cool Tones, you up first, my guy.
Well, I know I said shout out to dang, I forgot his name just that quick. To coach of the Michigan Wolverines,
Juwan Howard.
Juwan Howard, yeah. Don't know how it even slipped my mind, but shout out to all of the Michigan Wolverines, all of the the whole everybody that's performing at a high level. Everybody that Curt mentioned earlier. I'm not able to remember all of those, but thank you guys. Shout out to y'all. Keep going forward. Go ahead and win. Hail to the victors. Let's go. Who do Michigan play next year? I know offhand.
The men play Villanova.
Oh yeah, we gonna
women just beat Villanova too.
Yeah, the women just beat Villanova, and the men about to play Villanova. Yep.
Well, peace out, Villanova. And shout out to Miss Sheila. Build us into a winner, man, and happy Wednesday.
Right on. I'm proud to announce that I got my little Aaron Donald Jr. About to take the field, and y'all like, who is that? That's my daughter, Layla Jones, the 5'10", 285-pound nose tackle, starting nose tackle. It told me she wants to play high school football as well. So I told her when they get back from vacation, because this weekend my mom is finna take the kids to Disney World for spring break. So she's taking all my kids to Disney World. So when they get back, yeah, right. I've been Disney World since going to my junior year of high school.
I ain't never been.
Right. But once you get back, I told her we got a lot of work to do. We got a lot of things to get your body ready for the collisions, your reflexes. You got to get all your skills intact because, and another thing is she's playing for my crosstown rival. I coach at Jackson Northwest. She's going to play at Jackson High. Okay, so I hope I can convince her to come over to Jackson Northwest because that'd be real weird. But shout out to my daughter Layla, man. We about to do it big.
Yeah, definitely. That's what's up, man. My final thoughts for today's show is the Lions continue to add rotational depth pieces at prove-it deal prices, and you can, you look how they're building the team. They're building the team to the draft. They're going to get younger. Even with Mike Hughes, he's only 25 years old. That's a young piece to come over for a veteran. So, and he can bring a lot of fire to that young secondary. So I'm liking what they're doing. Shout out to Brad Holmes. Chris Board, for him, I think he's one of those guys that he's one of those Charles Harris type signings. He can revitalize his career in Detroit. And, and he's one of those guys. He's hungry. Anytime you have a guy who's an undrafted free agent, they're most likely they're going to be hungry their whole career. And he's one of those guys who can do that. And he fits in that, Dan Campbell type of mold. So I like what they're doing in the front office. And I can't wait to the draft, man. We haven't even really covered the draft, but we've covered the draft here on the show because we've talked about pieces and players, but we're going to start delving deep into that Lions draft, maybe do a mock draft for our own, off and then just announce the picks here on the show and get some
Can we include trade?
Do it. Yeah. Trades and everything.
Yes.
We'll do it as far as we'll do it off camera and then we'll do it. That way you guys are getting a full show because it takes a long time to do a mock draft. So if we do it off camera, we definitely can do it right. And then I just announce who we're going to pick on the show. So we'll do a mock draft of our own and just kind of look at some of these prospects here in the upcoming weeks before the draft. But with all that being said, man, it is hump day, baby. Man, the grind is getting hard, man. Go ahead, take that deep breath, man. If it's getting overwhelming, take a step away, then come back and go ahead and get refocused and finish your job. But you got to do something for your boy Curt still, you know, as always. Wipe them crumbs off your face. Finish your drink and get back to work, baby. And whatever you do in life, you got to boss up, ball out, and be the best version of you that you can be. Well, my fellas, LL and Coach Mike, this is Curt Steele, and we will holla at you real soon. We love you, Jim.